Hey BoLS fans, AdamHarry back again with another quick BoLS unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at the second wave of the Lumineth Realm Lord releases from Games Workshop. We have the Allerth Stonemaid, the Vanari Dawnriders, we've got Avalanor, the Stoneheart King, and we've also got the Allerth Stonemaid over here, as you can see. We're going to be popping these boxes and taking a look at the sprues, and if you stick around to the end, we actually have a little special treat for you, so let's do it. Kicking us off, we're going to go with the Vanari Dawnriders. The reason we're starting with these is because these are actually already released, sort of, with the Special Edition Lumineth box. So these sprues have been out there for a while. We figured we might as well just go through them real fast because they haven't changed since they got released previously. So, of course, you're going to have your bases as well. We've got 3, 4, 5. You've got your instructions, how to put them all together. Full color, nothing's changed there. You know the drill. You know the drill by now, right? And I believe you have rules as well in different languages. No big deal there. Now let's look at the sprues. I'm going to move the bases. You can build 5 of them out of this kit in total. So 1, 2, 3 sprues, as you can see here. Again, these haven't changed from the Lumineth Realm Lords Special Edition Battle Starter Box, whatever you want to call it. Still awesome miniatures. I don't want to downplay the job that these miniatures were done on. That didn't make sense. I don't want to downplay how good these miniatures are, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they have great detail on them. They have their cool elven runes on them. They go together really well. And actually, yeah, I like them. I like these a lot, actually. So, yeah, that's the Vanari Dawnriders. Next up, we have the Allerth Stonemaid, and I'm pretty excited about these personally because they are the most Warhammer elves, I think, out there because they actually have Warhammers. So dump out all the bases, shot at the back of the box. You've got a couple of different build options as well. You got the big stone mallet, you've got the different double-handed hammers and the diamond hammer and things like that. So you do have some different build options in here depending on how you want to load them up. You can actually build 5 miniatures with this box. Here's the instructions. You get 5 bases and things like that. Again, different build options. Does come with the rules. They're a fun unit. They are a hammer to your anvil, as it were. Yeah, you basically get 3 of these little spruce sections. We'll take a look at each one individually real fast. I know we didn't do it for the Dawnriders, but like I said, that's because we've seen those already. So here's the first spruce section. Pretty straightforward looking. The diamond hammers there, pretty cool actually. I kind of like that look on them. I don't know if I'd go with one over the other. I haven't really looked at the stats too much, but aesthetically, either way, I think you're gonna have a really cool looking unit. So that's the first one. Here's the second sprues. Again, same deal. Yeah, very straightforward kit to build. It looks like you've got the legs mostly. You've got torsos. And then, of course, the arms and the hammers. But, yeah, really good detail. I know it's a little hard to see on there, but I do want to point out, like, if we look real close, if it can focus, it's so good detail. Zoom it. All right. You can kind of, yeah, there it goes. You can see the filigree on the armor. It's really, really finely detailed. So that's going to take to wash this really well. It's going to get in those little cracks and just make those details pop. So I think these are going to be really nice to paint up. There's more detail on the flag, as you can see there too. So same kind of deal. Those are actually etched in there on the model. So again, if you are looking to paint these up, I think you can get some really cool effects using some washes and things like that. So that's the Allerth Stonemaid. Next up is the Allerth Stonemaid. She comes in a box, a smaller character-sized box instead of one of the big ones. So this model is really cool. Full disclosure, I've already built this one, but we have an extra here to show off. It comes in 1 sprue, and instructions, and yeah, the base. Oh, there's the base. So it's on a Terminator size. I think that's a 40 mil base or 50 mil. I forget. But there you go. That's everything in the box. Instructions here. It's 40 mil base. There you go. So it gives you an idea of how big this model is. It's a little fun one to build. I'm not gonna lie. There is a little tricky part. I want to point this out because I thought it was really cool, really clever how they did that. So if you look at this bit right here, once you've built everything, it actually attaches to the back of the little stone, but you can line up the bottom of the floaty disc it's on with the mountain too to make it like look like he's floating on top. So it's just a really cool little bit how they made it all fit together. And again, here's the sprue. It's kind of a weird sprue. It's got the raised lip. I think that they did that. GW did that probably just so they can get the details that they needed, because this model is very highly detailed. Having said that, it goes together pretty easily. Clipping and cleaning it wasn't too much of a chore, and putting together the torso and the headdress and stuff like that was pretty cool to see it all come together. The headdress has got like the back of the head and the hair, and then it's got like a faceplate, this thing right here, you put on the front of the head, which is right, where was that? Oh, the head is actually, of this model, is right there. That's actually the back of the head. Here's the front of the head. And it doesn't look like much, but once you put it all together, it ends up looking real cool. Matter of fact, I said wait to the end, but you know what? Let's just take a look at the miniature complete. Ta-da! And again, it's on that 40mm base. You do want to kind of offset the point on the base just slightly forward from center, so that it's got room to like float on the back and stuff like that. There's not a lot of stuff hanging off the front of the miniature, but you get the idea. It's a cool one, and again, I'm just going to put the 40mm base to the side so you can kind of get a sense of how big this model is. Yeah, it goes together real cool. It's got that really neat floaty pose. You could probably bend this arm just ever so slightly if you wanted a little bit more space in between the rock and the pillow thing he's floating on. But it's a really cool, or she, I don't know. Whatever, man. Equal opportunity here. But it's just a really cool model. It was a fun one to build. Didn't take super long. Again, clipping and cleaning it, but I like this model quite a bit. It's going to be a fun one to paint up. So, again, fun painter's challenge there, especially with the different textures from the stone, grass, and then this carn stone thing he's kind of floating on with the runes on it, over to a softer texture with the pillows and the capes and stuff like that. I think it's just a really cool model. You're going to have a lot of different textures to play around with, so check that one out. That is, of course, again, the Allerth Stonemaid. And finally, last but certainly not least, the Divine Bovine himself, Avalanor, the Stoneheart King. This model is really cool. It's a big old box. It's not super thick, but you'll see that here in a second. You can build two different versions of this model. You can build the war form of the Indomitable Mountain here with Allerth, Spirit of the Mountain, or the Avalanor, the Stoneheart King you saw in the front there. So a couple of different options there. I'm going to pop this box here. Da-da. And again, two options when you're putting it together. The instructions have both. The first half is Avalanor. The second half is the Spirit of the Mountain. And it's pretty detailed. So, yeah. And it's got rules in here. This is the alternate sections if you want to do the different variant builds down here. You can actually swap the hammers. So just FYI, if you wanted to run two Spirits of the Mountain and wanted to make them different, you can flip the hammers around. So it's got some different options there too. So I think it's a really cool kit, very versatile, with basically three different options, or three different variant ways to build it. You can also do a little bit of positioning with the head, although it's not a ton of positioning, like being able to turn it ever so slightly. Here's the base. So it's probably a little bit smaller than you might be expecting. It's not like a giant whatchamacallit base, like not as big as like Archeon's base or something like, or Nagash's base, but it is it's still a big one. It comes in these three different sprue sections. We'll take a look at each one individually. Let's start here. Yeah, so here you go. I do want to call out too, just looking at the sprues. One of the challenges, surprise, I did build this one too, but one of the challenges I've noted here when I was building this is the numbers obviously aren't quite sequential. So you might have like 30, I don't know, 38 on this one and then like 37 on the other sprue. So there was a little bit of bouncing back and forth. It's not that big a deal if you've built GW models before, you're used to it, but that was like my only real complaint. Other than that, it was actually a lot of fun to build. Everything went together very smoothly. There wasn't a ton of mold lines, and most of the mold lines were you were able to hide with the seams were able to hide when you assemble the model. So overall, pretty cool. I did use plastic glue as well when I build models. When I built this one in particular, we'll show off here in a second. But one of the things I do want to call out, other things I want to call out, I guess. Again, the filigree is etched into the armor. So again, if you're going to use a wash or an ink or something like that, this stuff is going to look rad when you get that all knocked out. So just a really cool set of plastic. The insides of the armor that you're probably not even going to see even had detail, which I thought was a really nice touch. If you wanted to use that for something else, or you position them in a slightly different manner than on the instructions, just to have a little bit more flavor. It's just cool. Like I thought that was a nice touch. Even with the top part of the crest that goes over the chest piece, which we'll show off here in a second, does have a ton of detail on it still. So it's kind of a shame that it gets covered up, but it all goes together super awesome, really smoothly. So, all right, next sprue. Again, it's a double sprue set. Here's what I was talking about too. Again, look at the filigree on that, like the top part of the mountain. This is actually the back. The front would go here. The head would be right here. But you can see all of the cool filigree going on there. That's all etched in there. The armor's super detailed. The chainmail and stuff like that. It's just a really cool kit. There's a couple of different flags that you can put on the model in the back, and there's a talbot as well that kind of hangs down. So there's a flag that I was just talking about. Yeah, it's just a neat model to build. And then we'll flip it over and you can see this side too. Again, same deal. There's the chunks of mountain that go on top. There is like a little, there's a little foot plate for his little like chunk of rock coming up out of the ground. You can put one of the hooves. And then again, underneath here, more detail. And I'm trying to find, where was that chest? Here it is. So that's the back underside, I think. Oh yeah, so here's what I was talking about. So here's part of the chest piece, and you can see these two sections kind of go together, and there's another two sections. I think it's this one here, but they go together and they form like the torso. And again, you can see they're quite detailed, but again, some of that detail gets covered up by the miniature, by the top part when you glue it all down. So kind of a shame that you lose some of that detail, but if you are really paying attention, you can still kind of see some of it. Matter of fact, let's do it. Let's take a look at the completed miniature, right? Okay, enough chatting. Here we go. Again, it's a little bit shorter, or not shorter, a little bit less bulky than I was expecting when I put it together. I was expecting it to be a little bit larger, but the base, again, it's not the biggest round base, but it's a pretty good chunk. And you can just see this model looks so rad. You can kind of tell what I was talking about too. Underneath here, again, there's a lot of that detail that gets not covered up, but like it's hidden underneath the top armor chunk. But it's just a really cool model when it's all assembled and done. Kind of spin around here. There's a really cool thing they do with the underside here. Where there's a separate bit that you glue in there to kind of fill it out and give it a little bit more character. But so rad. It's a giant cow wearing a mountain and armor. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a divine bovine, folks. It's just cool. Yeah. Especially, being from Texas, cows are a thing here too. So we like our beef. It's just a really neat model. It was a lot of fun to put together. It didn't take super long. I did take my time with it though, clipping and cleaning stuff. I can't wait to just get this bad boy on the tabletop now. gotta get it painted some first, I think, but it's a joy to build, and it looks really cool all said and done. We're gonna have more pictures of the completed models on our social medias. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the cool places. We'll have more pictures of these up, so come check us out. And that's gonna be it for us here at BoLS. For me, I'm done. That is the new releases. Those were the new releases, I should say. Coming out for the Lumineth Realm Lords. That's the second wave, coming out very soon if they're not out by the time you watch this video. I'm AdamHarry. Thanks for watching. click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.